The story kicks off in the immortal world, specifically in Black Sand City, buried deep within the brutal and unforgiving gravel desert. 3 women are sprinting across the dunes like the devil himself is snapping at their heels, a mage, a cleric, and a warrior. They're all level 3, running for their lives as a relentless pack of level 3 desert ghost wolves chases them down without mercy. Their desperate screams for help are getting swallowed whole by the howling wind and shifting sands. The blonde girl can't help but vent her frustration. Talk about terrible RNG, they were only trying to farm a level 1 sand scorpion. It was supposed to be an easy grind, a total milk run, but they ended up aggroing an entire pack of level 3 ghost wolves instead. Voice trembling, she asks, "What the heck are we gonna do?" The leader points straight ahead. "Hit the trees," she commands. She explains that these beasts can't climb. If the squad can just get to the high ground, maybe they have a shot at survival. But internally, she's fuming. She knows these wolves are sadistic by nature. Once they lock onto a target, they don't stop until it's game over and dinner is served. And things are getting worse. They're all debuffed from a previous fight, and their only 2 pieces of black iron gear are completely wrecked. Suddenly, the mage trips and eats dirt. The group's heart skips a beat. Glancing back, the whole pack is lunging straight for her. The girl freezes, paralyzed by the realization that she's toast. But right then, whoosh, something slices through the air. A strike connects instantly, one-shotting the wolf about to finish her off. A sword slams into the sand, vibrating from the impact. While she stares at the fresh kill, a figure steps up, breezes past the corpse, and stands between them and death. Xiao Hei blinks, totally shook. This person just saved her life. But when she scans the stranger's level, she freezes cold. Level 1. A total noob. The main character pulls back his hood and stares down the beasts. He hits them with a chill vibe, saying level 3 monsters aren't even a threat to worry about. The wolves rush him instantly. He unsheathes his blade, no drama, just business, and walks forward without flinching. In a literal blink of an eye, steel flashes, blood sprays across the sand, and every single wolf is sliced and diced by this kid's attacks. The trio can only stare jaw-dropped. How is a level 1 rookie soloing mobs with this kind of absurd ease? The warrior grits her teeth, totally impressed. 4 ghost wolves deleted with a basic starter sword. But the vibe shifts fast. Xiao Hei points to the horizon and screams, "Incoming!" A massive wave, way bigger than the last one, is rolling in. Where did they spawn from? Maybe the blood scent triggered reinforcements. The leader doesn't hesitate, screaming at the protagonist to bail. She warns him that this horde could wipe an entire noob village, and they'll shred him in seconds. He just smirks. "You serious?" Then ping, he pops open his system interface. A notification floats up, "Summon skeleton warriors." He hits confirm without a single second of lag, and flicks his summoning cards onto the ground. Boom. A massive hypnotic magic circle glows neon on the sand. Bone hands claw their way out of the depths one after another. Level 3, skeleton warriors. Rise up and flood the battlefield. The wolves keep charging, oblivious to their doom. The protagonist watches the scene cool as a cucumber, and says he wants to see who gets ripped to shreds first. His undead army charges with pent-up rage, and the battle explodes, clashing bone, howls, and steel. Lin Yuan leads the slaughter alongside his troops, wrecking every enemy in his path. He drives his sword into the final, wolf burying it to the hilt. A second later, he yanks it out. 16 desert ghost wolves dust. 160 XP gained, 16 fangs, 16 pelts, 16 claws. Clean, precise, flawless. Smash that like button. Glowing loot orbs float up from the corpses and drift toward him, absorbing into his body, like they were always his to begin with. In the distance, hiding in the dunes, the girls watch without blinking. Are they hallucinating? They swear they just watched a rookie solo 12 desert ghost wolves and walk away with 0 damage. Xiao Hei steps up, mind blown. She asks, "Are you a mage with a summoning perk?" She's a mage too and has never seen a build like this. He replies calmly, "Nope, not a mage." Her face drops. Then, "What are you?" The protagonist just smiles, keeping his mouth shut. He stays quiet because he's rocking a forbidden SSS rank class. Currently level 2. Class Necromancer. Talent Dark Summoner of the Hellgate. 5 Strength. 25 Physique. 30 Mental. Name Lin Yuan. Origin Blue Planet. Status Reincarnated. Rewind 3 years. Scientists flagged a massive mysterious planet creeping up on Earth. They dubbed it Magic Planet. Fast forward 3 months and some shady studio drops a VR game. It broke the internet. Immortal World. You strapped on the gear, picked a class, and dove in. Grinding levels gave you actual powers to slay monsters in the system. At first, it was all fun and games. Just a simulation, right? Until players started glitching those exact skills into reality. We called them Chosen Ones. But that's when the vibe shifted. A cult surfaced. The believers of the evil star god. These maniacs shattered the firewall between the virtual and the real. Pure carnage followed. Cities crumbled. That's when the protagonist lost his parents to the slaughter. Humanity rallied every weapon we had for one final stand in that nightmare. Didn't matter. The chosen ones wiped the floor with us. Lin Yuan took the L in the final battle. He died with the rest of the world. But then gasp, he snaps awake, heart pounding. He's staring at the login screen for Immortal World. First launch, Deja Vu hits hard. But this run is different. The system blesses him with a Forbidden Class rank SS Necromancer. +2 SS talents, Dark Summoning and Hell's Gate. His brain locks onto one mission. Speedrun to max power. Protect the fam. Save the world. Snap back to now. He walks up to a dead wolf, reaches out, and black smoke starts swirling from his palm. He chains this combo on every ghost wolf corpse in the desert. System prompt, do you want to cast? Dark Summoning. He hits confirm. Boom. The monsters twitch and rise. Not wild beasts anymore. They're possessed minions now. He analyzes the stats coldly. This class is broken. He gets the physical stats of a warrior plus the ability to spam Dark Summoning to turn trash mobs into a loyal zombie army. They keep their levels. They keep their skills. And the cherry on top, a passive skill called Body of Death, makes his undead squad immune to most debuffs. Time to flex the other talent. The ground cracks open. Hell's Gate answers the call. It's basically infinite storage. Lets him stash the resurrected monsters, and the capacity scales with his level. A massive gate to the underworld manifests, peeling open a void of pure darkness. His new army marches right in. He watches, already picturing the endgame. If he grinds hard enough, he'll build an unstoppable legion of death. In the background, the girl team leader is absolutely shook. She realizes he's raising zombies and stammers, asking who the hell this guy actually is. MC just says, almost time. Suddenly, the sky glitches out. A warning hologram floats above. World boss alert. The giant death wolf is dropping into the gravel desert. Perfect timing. Boss hunting season is open. Thunder rumbles, getting louder. The casuals are scrambling to hide. A rift tears through the sky, getting wider. Two players whisper that the giant death wolf is spawning any second. They bolt. One guy remembers the wiki, said the boss's aggro range. Covers 50 meters. They need to clear the zone now. Everyone's sprinting like the sand is lava. Some don't make it. Wipe out before they can even blink. Survivors are huddled up, shaking, just watching the bodies pile up. And there it is. The giant death wolf. Level 6, 2,400 HP, 360 attack, 48 defense. The raid has just begun. One player spots his brother among the dead and loses his mind. Starts screaming. The squad grabs him, asking if he has a death wish. A solo player has zero chance against a boss like that. Suicide mission. Fear locks them in place. The wolf is snacking on players one by one. Someone whispers in terror, asking if killing this monster is even possible. Then the script flips. They spot the MC walking straight into the danger zone. Someone yells, "Yo, what are you doing?" He's strolling like he owns the place, calm amidst the chaos. They check his sword. Is he a rookie? His buddy nods. Yeah, totally. Let's keep it real. The giant death wolf isn't just a mob. It's a level 6 Lord class boss. Even a full squad would get wiped instantly. In the Immortal World, the food chain is brutal. It goes normal, elite, leader, lord, then king, monarch, and finally god. Let me put it this way. A level 1 lord is already a total nightmare for newbies. So facing a level 6, that's a straight up death sentence. But Lin Yuan, he stops running. He stands dead center, face to face with the beast. The crowd screams, convinced he's absolutely lost his mind. One more step means game over. A colossal level 6 wolf towers over him, but he just stares it down and drops the coldest line, "You don't look so tough." The beast drools blood and triggers its ultimate ability. Giant wolf howl. A blinding laser beam shreds the air, but our MC backflips, dodging by a hair. No cooldown, the boss lunges with death claw. That's when the flashback hits. Lin Yuan remembers facing this nightmare before. The level 6 giant death wolf. Buffed, dangerous, a true boss. It rocked 3,400 HP and 510 attack power. For desert explorers, who were barely scraping level 3, you'd need a full raid party just to survive. Even then, he barely made it out alive. But that was the old timeline. Now, as that claw descends, he smirks. After regressing and surviving hellish battlefields, he's built different. Crash. The paw smashes the earth, but he's already ghosted to the side. A bystander's jaw hits the floor. No one knew he had that kind of agility. Suddenly, a system alert pops up. The world boss has entered rage mode. Lin Yuan just grins, slaps the ground, and a toxic green aura explodes. The gates of hell materialize. Even the boss flinches at the sheer scale of this structure. The massive doors creak open. Lin Yuan gives the command, "Rise." His undead army floods the battlefield. A pack of wolves pours out of the portal. The spectators are absolutely shook, staring at the gate, realizing he turned all those level 3 desert wolves into his own zombie minions. While he charges, he calculates. He hit level 3 just by grinding trash mobs on the way here, and the Netherworld gate now holds a max of 30 units. He thought he was lagging behind, but his farm was efficient. He knows the immortal world aggro mechanics perfectly. Summoners generate way more threat than their pets. As long as he's visible, the boss will tunnel vision on him. Unless a minion lands a hit. The zombie wolves rush in, but the boss counters with crushing force. One zombie howls before the boss raises a massive paw, ready to squash it like a bug. Now Lin Yuan leaps in, unleashing a nasty combo chain. He's manipulating the aggro system perfectly. Just as the boss targets his army, he draws the heat back to himself. 0 unnecessary losses. The giant wolf roars in frustration and chases him down. The MC sprints, keeping the boss locked on him. This lets his minions spam attacks freely. Sure, the DPS isn't huge. Each zombie wolf only ticks for 15 damage against a boss with 3,400 health. But math is math. Hit by hit, the beast is melting. The onlookers are losing their minds. To them, this is insanity. A world boss getting solo-kited, you don't see that every day. But in the back, 3 shady dudes start snickering. You know that look, they're plotting something dirty. A few minutes later, our MC dives straight at the world boss. The monster is down to its last 500 HP. No hesitation. He parries with his blade and lands a crisp, clean, critical hit. Justice is served. Don't forget to smash that like button. Flawless execution. The boss's health bar tanks to 80. It tries to howl but glitches out and collapses. Lin Yuan walks up cool as ice. Just 1 hit left. He scans the area. Suddenly those 3 rats lunge forward. They're screaming. Last hit and loot are ours. They think they're slick because his undead army is gone. He glances over his shoulder. A bystander yells, "Watch out!" But Lin Yuan, he doesn't even blink. With one fluid motion, he drops the 3 kill stealers instantly. They hit the dirt like trash. The MC looks down at them. You gotta be crazy to pull a stunt like that. From the sidelines, the crowd is absolutely shook. Some rookie just wiped the floor with 3 level 3 thieves. 1 hit. That's all it took. Suddenly, the boss scrambles back up, locking eyes with Lin Yuan. But our guy, he's not giving an inch. He rushes in, unleashing a devastating critical strike before the beast can even blink. System alert pops up: World Boss Giant Deathwolf. HP 0. It's over. Victory screen flashes. 480 XP and a soul gem securely in the bag. Lin Yuan pauses, mind racing. He's the first player ever to solo a world boss. The rewards for a first clear, they gotta be insane. 2 items materialize in midair. He grabs the soul gem first. You can practically feel the spiritual energy pulsing inside it. Stack enough of these bad boys, and he can hit up the Eternal Council to trade him for legendary tier gear. He knows the drill. Once you hit level 60, the Elven Eternal Council is the only way to keep leveling up. He's got a long grind ahead, but these gems are basically the fast track to god tier loot. Quick side note. In the immortal world, gear ranks go like this: white, black, iron, bronze, silver, gold, dark gold, epic, legendary, and finally, mythic. Mythic is exactly what it sounds like, game-breaking stuff. Most noobs are lucky to even sniff the bottom tier. Even black iron is a nightmare to farm. Flashback time, our MC remembers just 2 hours ago. He used his past life cheat codes to bait 2 elite black sand lizards, sacrificing his skeleton warriors as bait. That genius move let him raid their stash, cracking open a bronze chest to score a sweet bronze tier cloak. The black lizard robe. Stats solid. 30 defense, 10 spirit, and 10 agility. Back to the present. The system chimes in again. He officially holds the record: first world boss kill. Boom. New title unlocked, Hunter. Slap that on and his attack power jumps by 10%. Crit rate up 10%. Base damage up another 10%. In this game, titles aren't just for show. They grant straight up buffs, and this one is S tier. Then the real prize drops: a silver chest. Eyes wide, he cracks it open. Jackpot, the Silver Moon Sword. That's a massive 100 attack boost plus 10 agility. Next up, the Eye of Death accessory. Boosts spirit by 10 and comes with a nasty active skill, Ray of Corruption. That skill deals 200% accelerated damage. Ouch. He also snags a recovery potion. Instant refill of 20% HP and mana. Clutch. Plus, a level 1 skill scroll. That gives 100 points to skill mastery. Finally, a monster essence: brew it or eat it raw. Either way, it grants 10 bonus points to strength, constitution, agility, and spirit. Lin Yuan checks his stash. He grins. This loot run, legendary. Then the XP tallies up and his jaw hits the floor. He rocketed from level 3 straight to the edge of level 5. Each level gives 5 stat points. He dumps 3 into spirit and 2 into strength. He settles at level 4, and get this, his necromancy leveled up. Talent stayed the same, but look at those stats: 10, strength 10, constitution 25, agility, and a whopping 35 spirit. Insane. Nobody in the entire gravel desert is pushing numbers like that. He checks his Hell's Gate skill. Minion count, 0 out of 40. His ghost wolves and zombies got wiped out during the boss fight. But thanks to the level up, his capacity reset to 40 slots. He doesn't hesitate. He casts necromancy right on the corpse. System prompt, resurrect giant death wolf. Is that even a question? Heck yes. The beast's eye snaps open, glowing with a sickly undead green light. It rises, towering over Lin Yuan with terrifying pressure. And the best part? It kept 100% of its original stats. But now it serves him. This was Lin Yuan's plan from the very start. World bosses are stacked with AoE nukes and crowd control skills. He knew it. By turning it into a zombie, he didn't just get a meat shield. He unlocked a secret weapon. Undead Fury. Now he's untouchable. With this zombie wolf boss watching his back, restocking his Hell's Gate army is gonna be a breeze. In the distance, the other players are frozen. They just watched a guy turn a literal world boss into his personal pet. They have no clue what that summoning gate is, but they all agree on one thing: the dude standing in front of it is way scarier than the monster. Lin Yuan slowly turns his head. Panic mode activated. The crowd scatters instantly, diving for cover, absolutely terrified. It's only then that he actually clocks the audience watching him. He also spots a black iron sword lying in the dirt, a loot drop. He realizes instantly that it's the reward for clapping those bandits. Solid gear for low-level scrubs, but for him, absolute trash. He's already rocking the moonlight sword. He grabs it casually and walks toward the crowd. They stop breathing, convinced he's about to end them. He pulls up on one specific kid and asks if he was the one screaming a warning during the fight earlier. The kid is trembling, buffering hard, unable to speak. But Lin Yuan just tosses him the blade. The kid freezes, totally shook. Then our main character dips like it's nothing, thanking him for the heads up. As soon as he leaves, the crowd swarms the lucky guy, unable to believe he just secured that loot without lifting a finger. I mean, a black iron sword is worth tens of thousands of yuan. 10 minutes later, the protagonist is trekking through the desert when glitch. Everything goes dark. The reason is simple. His VR headset battery just died, kicking him back to the real world. He sighs, realizing he needs to grind for a legitimate gaming pod instead of this budget setup. He stares at the monitor for a few seconds, deep in thought. Immortal World isn't just a game. It's a hyper-realistic simulation divided by borders. Each zone hosts different nations players can choose. In his region, there are 4 kingdoms: the Western Desert, the Southern Return Empire, the Northern Underworld, and the Tide Archipelago. The system prompts him to select his starting region. The options are right there. Without hesitating, he locks in the same region as his previous run. He clicks the Western Desert. This isn't random. Before he died in his past life, he uncovered a secret. Flashback to the chaos monsters everywhere, him bleeding out on the ground, defeated and broken. That's when he sensed something approaching. His eyes shot open. Stepping out of a rift, these godlike entities were marching straight for him. He locks onto a yellow gem embedded in one of those beings and instantly recognizes it. That's a guild emblem from the Western Desert, the first. Believer of the starry sky, evil god. A terrifying thought hits him. Was that thing a human player? He frowns, trying to piece it together. That creature was the key figure that summoned the evil god to the blue planet. But the math doesn't add up. The divine descent isn't supposed to happen for another 3 years. If he can spawn camp that traitor now, maybe he can stop the apocalypse before it starts. His only lead is that emblem. Only the top-tier guilds in the Western Desert capital rock those yellow gems. And to set foot in that capital, he needs to hit level 10. No shortcuts. If he wants to expose the rat who ruined everything, he has to level up immediately. Wasting no time, he focuses on his objective and summons a card in his actual hand. He stares at it. Did he really just pull a skeleton card into the mortal world? Some players can glitch their game powers into reality. People call them the Chosen Ones or Children of Destiny. Each one has a powerful hidden class and insane luck. In the endgame, they're the main defense force against the evil gods. He remembers that in his last life, he didn't awaken his powers until the catastrophe had already started. But now he's way ahead of the meta and has already secured a massive lead. He's convinced his forbidden Necromancer class is built different, though he's still figuring out exactly how he stacks up against those standard Chosen Ones. He turns his head to check the clock. Time to switch gears. Scene change. 2 people are sitting at the table when he walks in with a feast, telling them to eat up. The girl mentions that Lin Yuan worked super hard for this, so they shouldn't let it go to waste. He watches them silently, realizing that people never appreciate what they have until it's deleted, and only then do they try to fix it. In his past life, he was just a gaming addict. All he heard was that he was obsessed and ruining his future. It wasn't until the disaster took everything that he realized how ignorant he'd been. That memory still haunts him, eats at him. Smash that like button if you feel that. It hurts deep down. Poor guy, because he knows the truth now. You know the old saying, you never realize the value of something until it's gone. But let's snap back to reality. He asks if Tantan is coming home for Sunday dinner. The girl shakes her head. She's pulling an all-nighter for her mock exams. She's even packing her own lunch. Then she admits she is totally shook that Lin Yuan actually learned how to cook, and she apologizes for inhaling all the chicken wings just because they were that addictive. The man tells her to chill, it's fine. But then he glances over and catches the protagonist sliding her another wing. With a chill smile, he promises to whip up even more dishes next time. Both of them are completely stunned by this new side of him, and they can't help but get a little emotional. But let's cut to the chase, everything is about to flip again. From that moment on, the grind starts. If he wants to fully sync his in-game powers with the real world, he knows he needs a vessel tough enough to handle the load. He pauses for a split second to catch his breath, checks the watch. He just crushed 50 meters in 5.5 seconds. Not bad, but nowhere near God tier yet. Without hesitation, he goes right back to the workout. After a while, he logs in, spawning at the gravel desert. Sandstorms are raging heat, warping the horizon. Suddenly, a shadow streaks past him. He barely tilts his head and spots giant birds flying in tight formation, all heading the same way. Level 2, Howling Birds. 40 HP, 20 attack, and a pathetic 2 defense. Total glass cannons. The protagonist starts deleting them from the sky one by one. They only drop 15 XP each. Trash rewards, but he keeps his eyes on the prize. He knows these things are just bait. Moments later, his freshly raised zombie bird starts circling the area, setting the trap. And there it is, a massive wolf pack emerging from the distance. He reads the situation instantly. This isn't random. Those birds are the favorite snack of the desert shadow wolves. A few hits are all it takes to aggro the entire pack. No time to waste, he pops the cork and chugs a monster essence potion. Crafted perfectly, it buffs all his stats by 10 points. He charges in, ready to exploit the opening as the wolves shift focus and lunge at him. The power gap is massive. He starts slicing through them like hot butter. 4 wolves drop instantly. The rest come in waves, but he keeps the rhythm/kill repeat. Zero hesitation. 10 down, and they haven't even touched him. But the spawn rate is crazy. The circle tightens until he's surrounded by dozens of beasts. He tightens his grip on the sword. Perfect timing. His strikes get faster, more surgical. He's mowing them down. 20 then, 30 kills. The moment the 40th wolf hits the sand, the system pings. Level 5 reached. He immediately raises his new army of zombie wolves and funnels them straight into the gate of hell. 2 battles and he's already maxed out his supply. Now he's level 5 with 50 monsters stocked in the gate. His current stats tell the whole story. 22, strength 20, defense 45, agility, and 48 mind. He analyzes the data coldly. With the essence buff active on his main stats, soloing elite monsters of the same level isn't just possible, it's a guarantee. Logic confirmed. The desert falls silent again. He looks up at the scorching horizon and comes to the only inevitable conclusion. It's finally time to track down a certain someone. Meanwhile, in a place known as Black Sand Village, the protagonist strolls through the dusty streets like he owns them, stopping right in front of a specific door. He pushes it open without knocking. A voice from inside barks, "Who goes there?" He doesn't waste breath. It's Quincy, the mage instructor of Black Sand Village. Lin Yuan lays his cards on the table. He's here for skills. He wants to be taken on as a student. In the immortal world, most techniques are loot drops from mobs or chests. But every class has a starter instructor to teach the basics. And this guy, he was his mentor in his past life. Quincy grins, looking satisfied. Looks like his beer money is secured for the next few weeks. Lin Yuan takes a second to think. In his past life, he was a mage. Now he's a necromancer. Technically different, but honestly, necromancy is just a forbidden branch of magic. Based on his combat style, the mechanics are similar enough. He cuts the thinking and hands over the cash, asking for soul flame healing and invisibility. He knows that before unlocking the exclusive Necromancer kit, he needs to master the basic mage spells. Quincy snatches the payment. That's what he's really hyped about, the ticket to infinite booze. He checks the coin and fires up his magic. He demands absolute perfection from his new apprentice. The mage's legacy has to shine through him, no excuses. Boom, the transfer is complete. The system pings a notification, congratulations on unlocking 3 mage class skills. First up, Soul Flame. It deals 100% magic damage. The cost, just 10 mana, plus a quick 10-second cooldown. Next is Healing, which restores 10% of a target's health bar. That costs 10 mana with a 3-minute cooldown. Finally, Invisibility, 5 seconds of stealth, 10 mana cost, and a 3-minute reset. He crunches the numbers on his new kit. Soul Flame is his ranged artillery. Healing keeps him in the fight. Keeps his squad alive too. And Invisibility, that's his ace in the hole for emergencies. Strictly for do-or-die escapes. But let's be real, this is just the starter pack. If he wants true power, he needs resources. Time to make a decisive move. It's grinding time. Scene switch to the east, right outside Black Sand Village. Deep in the Black Sand Mountains, he hits the Kobold Mine. He knows exactly what's waiting for him in there. Level 5 creeps lurking in the caves. These things have radar for intruders in the pitch black. They're sneaky little devils that roll deep. We're talking tribes of over 100 strong. The perfect punching bags to level up his undead army and farm some sweet XP. He pops a night vision potion to kick off the raid. Now he's got a 3-meter sight radius for 30 minutes. Time to crack open the Hell Gate. He calls forth his undead wolves. The goal: power level, his soul flame and invisibility skills. And maybe snag a treasure chest or two. With his squad at his back, our starry-eyed protagonist steps into the abyss. They push deeper into the dark. 15 minutes in, he freezes. Something is shifting in the shadows. No hesitation, he chucks a torch. The flames erupt, exposing the monsters lurking nearby. The kobolds snap awake instantly. They've been triggered and now they're swarming. As the torch hits the dirt, it's go time. The zombie wolves lunge straight for the throat. Our main character marches forward with them, commanding his troops to wipe the floor with these things. Leave no survivors. The monsters charge hard, but this fight is already one-sided. 2 drop instantly. The brawl drags on, but the kobolds are falling like dominoes. He realizes they're total pushovers. He signals the army to press on but keep their guard up. Watch out for those shovels. Suddenly he's surrounded in the chaos. Looks like a perfect trap, but he just smirks. He triggers invisibility at the last second, making their attacks slice through empty air. The kobolds are clueless. A split second later, he manifests right behind them. One clean lethal sweep takes out the entire circle. 20 kobolds deleted in a heartbeat. Just like that. As the bodies drop, he feels that his invisibility mastery just leveled up. He cracks a smile, but he's not totally satisfied. These trash mobs are way too soft. Grinding here is painfully slow. He reshuffles the deck, adding zombie miners to his ranks. Level 5, kobolds. He orders them to the front. They're the new meat shields, replacing the wolves. New objective: find the dungeon boss and take him out as soon as possible. They hit a fork in the path. He pauses, scanning the silence. There, a sound coming from the dark. His eyes flare up with excitement. He blasts the shadows with flame, revealing mud slimes. They get wrecked instantly. But the shadows shift again. Something bigger is stepping into the light. It stomps onto the battlefield. It's the elite kobold supervisor, level 6. Main skills: dig and whip. Our hero analyzes this coldly. Since the dawn of time, the laws of nature haven't changed. The strong eat the weak. But even predators are on the menu. Sometimes the hunter becomes the prey. Danger is everywhere, and nobody is safe. Doesn't matter how OP you are. Suddenly, the supervisor slams him with a brutal strike. A massive dust cloud swallows the cave. But he knows one thing: even when the hunter thinks he's winning, the prey thinks it can slide in silence and land the first hit, but he sees everything. Without flinching, he raises an arm and snatches the whip right out of the air. It comes flying straight at him, but he locks it down with a vice grip. Then he yanks that monster forward like it weighs absolutely nothing, just a pebble in his hand. He hurls the beast away, dragging it across the dirt until it finally manages to scramble back to its feet. But the second it tries to focus, it's game over. Red Eyes slices through its body with zero hesitation, guaranteeing the kobold supervisor is deleted from the server. The monster falls apart in chunks, collapsing in a heap. But when he glances back over his shoulder, he sees something straight up nightmare fuel, a surreal wave of monsters rushing him. Immediately, the system flashes a warning. The supervisor triggered a passive whip skill before kicking the bucket, sending every mine worker into a frenzy. They've entered a state of total bloodlust. Under this buff, their attack speed spikes by 40%, and their movement speed jumps by 25% for 60 seconds. Okay, now things are about to get spicy. Lin Yuan does a quick head count, 50 monsters staring him down. But honestly, he figures the odds are pretty even. He summons his entire squad, bringing out the heavy hitters, including that giant wolf who used to be a world boss. He declares the game is finally on and commands the hunt to begin. The clash between zombie wolves and kobolds is instant and brutal. It's an absolute slaughterhouse on both sides. But right in the middle of the chaos, the giant wolf makes its move. It unleashes a ferocious howl, and the stun effect slams into the nearby kobolds like a truck. Our protagonist spots the opening instantly. He sends his whole army in for the kill. Showing zero mercy, he drops 5 of them before they can even blink. Then 10 go down in a heartbeat. Next thing you know, he's cleared 20. By the time he checks the score, he's wiped out 40 kobolds and dinged level 6. Not wasting a single frame, he triggers his Necromancer skill, turning those fresh bodies into new recruits. Now, the zombie kobolds are fighting for Team Lin Yuan. Some of the monsters realize they're cooked and try to run. He actually finds their panic kind of amusing. Without hesitating, he cleans up the stragglers. But mere seconds after the dust settles, a surprise attack comes screaming his way. He barely manages to dodge, leaping backward with only an inch to spare. The culprit, the kobold chief, level 7, 1000 HP, 150 attack, and 80 defense. A literal tank. Our main character locks eyes with him. He's been waiting for this drop. The boss fight kicks off with zero warning. The chief unloads a massive hammer smash, swinging so hard the weapon gets buried deep into the wall. For a split second, it looks like a major opening since the guy can't pull it out. The protagonist reads the play and rushes in convinced this is his shot. He launches his first strike, but it barely makes a dent. It just grazes the armor. No cut, no scratch, exactly what he feared. His DPS isn't high enough and he's forced to back off. Finally, the boss rips the hammer out of the wall with terrifying speed and slams the ground in a rage. The shockwave rattles the whole cave, sending Lin Yuan flying backward until he skids to a halt on his feet. As he regains his balance, he confirms it. Boss attack patterns are way more complex than your average elite monster. Not only that, this thing's strength is easily 2 or 3 times higher. Determined not to lose momentum, he switches to magic and kites from a distance. The zombies swarm the enemy, while the giant zombie wolf dives in for its first charge. But the boss counters with skills of his own. The MC doesn't let up, keeping the pressure on and ordering every single wolf to attack simultaneously. The moment they box him in a group skill called Wrath of the Undead activates boosting attack power by 10% and critical hit rate by 20%. Now the hits are actually landing. The kobold chief feels it screaming in pain as the continuous damage chips away at his health bar. Giving him no room to breathe, our red-eyed MC summons his fire spirit magic and unleashes a volley. Explosions engulf the boss, because Lin Yuan knew the creature's magic resistance was trash and planned to exploit it. But the monster, even while wounded, charges forward in a blind rage. That's when the protagonist goes ghost mode. He activates invisibility, vanishes, and respawns right behind the creature. He's done playing nice. He aims straight for the neck, the only weak point without armor, and drives his sword in with everything he's got, pushing it deeper and deeper. Even then, the boss tanks it. Fighting through the pain, the chief counters, forcing our MC to bail out. But he doesn't waste a millisecond. He snaps his fingers, grabs onto the giant wolf, and starts surfing on its back as they mobilize. The rest of the squad attacks in perfect sync, shifting the scene into a blur of high-octane combat. The armor is cracking fractures, spreading like a spider web. Seeing his opening, he channels every ounce of energy into the fire spirits and unloads the entire clip at once. He's betting everything on this one massive bombardment to secure the kill. The boss takes the full brunt of the blast, screaming in pure rage as the battle hits its breaking point. That wasn't just a scream, it was a rally cry. Instantly, the whole cave erupts as every kobold in the area answers the summon. But to our protagonist, this just got interesting. He doesn't see a threat. He sees an all-you-can-eat XP buffet. Zero hesitation. He dives in. It's absolute carnage, and the kill count starts skyrocketing instantly. Amidst the chaos, the boss tries to pull a sneak exit. He actually thinks he can bail. Big mistake. Huge. Lin Yuan blinks right in front of him. He blocks the path, staring him down. You really think you're walking out of here alive? Grip tightens. Swish. One clean slice, and the kobold's head is airborne before the body even hits the floor. The system notification pops. Boss neutralized. Reward 50 XP. He checks his status screen. Boom. Level 7 reached. This is insane. His Hellgate capacity just leveled up. He can now command a massive army of 70 undead units. Check the stats. Strength is sitting at 27. Resilience at 23. Agility is a nasty 45, and spirit power hits 50. He is grinding closer to the big one, level 10. That's the ticket to enter the Western Desert main city. Time to check the loadout. Stealth technique and spirit flame. Mastery maxed out. Both skills hit level 2. Stealth now gives him a solid 10-second window of invisibility, and the spirit flame is busted, dealing magic damage equal to 200% of the target's damage. But wait, the boss dropped loot. A treasure chest sits there, begging to be opened. He pops the lid. Inside, a copper leather bag, the unquenchable torch, a skull mask, and the shadow gloves. He checks the bag. Jackpot. 20 gold coins. He weighs them in his hand, knowing that once the global banks open the exchange channels between the game and reality, those 20 coins are worth 200,000 yuan in cold hard cash. We're talking life-changing stacks. Gear check time. The unquenchable torch grants permanent night vision for 3 meters, no cooldowns, no batteries. The skull mask, stylish and functional. It cuts physical damage received by 5% and boosts both resistance and strength by 10 points each. But the real MVPs are the shadow gloves. These bad boys match the raw physical power of the kobold boss. Defense plus 30, attack plus 30, solid silver grade gear. Pulling a weapon like that from a basic bronze chest, that is insane RNG luck. He is itching to test them out. Legend says they're as tough as the monster he just slaughtered. Meanwhile, outside the cave, a hero surveys a graveyard of ghost wolves. Enter Phelan Guild, leader of Bloodstain, a level 8 warrior. He's hyped the training paid off. They wiped out 30 desert ghost wolves in under 60 seconds. His vice leader Feiju stands with him. He claims their duo is practically unstoppable if they stick together. The rest of the squad is just simping over the leaders impressed by the monster wipeout. But there's one blonde kid raging in the back. He can't let go of the first kill achievement they lost to Lin Yuan. That global announcement is living rent-free in his head. Player Lin Yuan defeated the giant wolf. He's fuming, swearing that nobody disrespects their guild like that and gets away with it. Feiju shrugs. Maybe it was luck, maybe hacks, but he admits he's ready to teach our main character a lesson in pain. The leader, however, shuts it down. Chill. Acting reckless gets you wiped. He knows this guy has serious power, and it's way smarter to recruit a tank like that than to fight him. Phelan orders the squad to move out. Intel points to a kobold dungeon nearby. They take 5 to regen energy, while he confirms the coordinates. Feiju is stewing in silence, barely containing his rage. Finally, he snaps, screaming for Lin Yuan to wait. He swears he's gonna curb stomp the guy, rip out his teeth and take his head. He wants everyone to know he plays dirty. Suddenly, a guild member stammers, face bright red. Boss, don't be mad, but look. Feiju spins around, confused, and freezes. Boom, standing right there face to face, is a stunning woman. The whole squad starts drooling. They just found a solo female player. Unaware of the creep squad, our protagonist finally steps out of the cave looking fresh. He checks the stats on his new kobold unit, crunching the numbers with that fresh zombie added to the mix. Boss, the zombie beast count at Hell's Gate is back up to 70. Not too shabby. If he keeps this pace, things are gonna get spicy. Suddenly, a noise snaps him out of his zone. He whips his head around and spots her. A total stunner, backing away, begging a squad of bandits to keep their distance. She warns them it won't be pretty if they push it. But Feiju and his crew just stroll forward, practically licking their chops. They think they hit the jackpot. Never thought they'd stumble across a baddie like this in the middle of nowhere. Feiju tells her not to freak out. Claims they just want to play, saying it's better to enjoy the ride than suffer. One of his boys nods, adding that if she takes good care of the guild vice leader, she'll score some huge rewards. She just keeps begging them to back off. The blonde dude loses his cool and launches a kick straight to her head. Then he grabs a fistful of her hair, tells her to stop being so naive that she's powerless. He even dares her to try and attack him. His expression turns straight up psycho. The more she struggles, the more excited he gets. He starts ripping at her clothes. But right then, bam, a fist absolutely explodes into his face. Sends him flying all the way across the desert. That's how brutal the hit was. The whole guild freezes, totally shook. That was the vice leader. The impact against the wall kicks up a massive dust cloud, leaving his body completely wrecked. Smashed right into a giant boulder. Our MC lowers his fist, thinking almost disappointed that it wasn't half bad, even if it felt a little softer than he expected. One of the members bolts, sprinting to warn the guild president. The rest still dazed demand to know who the hell this kid is making. One thing clear, he's offended the Bloodstained Guild, so he's dead meat. Lin Yuan looks up and recognizes the emblem immediately. It's the Bloodstained Guild, the first guild in Black Gravel City during the early days of the Immortal World. Most of them are red name players, experts at every kind of dirty deed, a constant danger to anyone who crosses their path. Those red names belong to players who, after countless attacks, thefts, and robberies, have stacked up 10 or more sin points and got flagged by the system as threats. And even though the evil god hasn't invaded yet, meaning dead players don't die in real life, they still lose gear and levels. And that, in the long run, can totally wreck them. With that in mind, he asks if they're really from the Bloodstained Guild. On the inside, he remembers these rats gave him more than a few headaches in his past life. The members glance at each other. One confirms it with pride, claiming they belong to the famous guild, emphasizing that he just attacked the vice leader. He grabs his arm, points, and warns him if he doesn't want a gruesome death, he better break his own arms and kneel to beg for mercy. Our protagonist has zero patience for speeches. He moves, and in the blink of an eye, slices off the arms of 2 players. Both hit the ground in a total panic. He coldly declares he's keeping the loser's arms, and tells them to save their barking for the road to hell. The woman watching it all can barely believe how strong he is. After a while, Feiju regains consciousness. Wasting no time, he chugs a potion that restores 20% of his health. He stands up, overflowing with rage, and sentences that death is too light a punishment for whoever dared to hit him. The man returns with the guildmaster to the spot where everyone's waiting. His arrival doesn't go unnoticed. The protagonist spins around instantly, curious to see who just showed up. Then the brat points without hesitating, swearing the guy responsible for attacking the vice leader is standing right in front of them. Pei Long adjusts his grip on his axe, ready to throw down, but something stops him. The player's eyes show absolutely zero emotion. They're cold, eternal. Make sure to like the video. Indifferent, icy. Silent, loaded with a crushing presence. They look like swords forged under the moonlight, shining with a freezing glare. Capable of cutting through anything. The aura he gives off is so overwhelming that just being near him feels suffocating. One of the guild members breaks the silence with insults, calling him an idiot and swearing he's gonna die right there. However, the guild leader doesn't share that confidence, that invisible pressure he feels. Combined with the sword he caught a glimpse of, leads him to a disturbing conclusion. That weapon could only drop from a boss-level monster. And if that's true, then the player standing in front of him can only be Lin Yuan. Inside, he curses his luck. Of all the people out there, they had to go and provoke the strongest one. The protagonist asks without flinching. Facing down the guild leader, the man's knuckles turn white around his axe handle. There's no backing out now, it's do or die. The air crackles with tension. Suddenly a shadow lunges at our main character. A girl screams from the sidelines, warning him about the sneak attack from behind. Phelan goes full berserker mode, roaring, "Just die already." The leader jumps in too, trying to overwhelm him with a cheap double team, shouting that crossing his guild is the last mistake anyone ever makes. They strike in perfect sync, but Phelan slams into an invisible wall. Boom. A towering monster materializes right behind our protagonist. With a twisted grin, the summon swings a massive hammer and catches the vice leader right in the gut, launching him into the sky like a chaotic firework. Without missing a beat, the protagonist walks toward the leader with terrifying calm and drops a cold line, "Your turn to get wrecked." One smooth motion. He slices the guy clean in half. The body hits the floor with a thud. Lin Yuan stares down at the mess with total disdain. Number 1. Guild, please. You clowns aren't even qualified to make me try. Suddenly, a system notification pops up, announcing he's wiped out a human player. Sin value increases by 2 points. He swipes the alert away like it's spam mail. As long as he doesn't stack up too many points, they'll reset in a week anyway. Totally irrelevant. The girl looks around the empty battlefield, realizing the rest of the squad bailed. "Should we chase them down?" she asks, trembling. "Nah," he replies. "They're just bugs, not worth the stamina." As he speaks, the defeated players dissolve into pixels, leaving behind a pile of loot. We're talking some serious drops like the explosive battle axe. On impact, it triggers a massive blast for AoE damage boosting attack by over 40, and strength by plus 30. Then there's the cross-dragon fang sword. Hits unleash sticky flames for continuous burn damage, buffing agility by 30 and attack by 40. And finally, the thorn dagger. That one bumps attack up by 15 and agility by 20. He scans the stats honestly, solid gear. He can't equip them with his build, but they'll fetch a killer price at the auction house. Easy money. The girl steps closer, face flushing pink. She thanks him for the save and asks for his name. He pauses, letting the silence hang for a moment, before dropping the mic. "One day, you'll see my name sitting at the very top of the global leaderboards." She freezes, totally shook. Is he talking about the world, top 10? Before she can process it, she sprints, after him screaming, "I don't care about rankings, I just want to go with you." Scene shift. Our protagonist treks through the unforgiving desert, senses sharp. The wind whips up sand, and just when it feels safe, a shadow ripples behind him. Ambush. He's face to face with a lamenting thunder scorpion. Actually, a whole pack of them. They're level 6 and aggressive, leaping straight for his throat. He doesn't flinch. He plants his feet, adjusts his grip, and starts slicing through anything dumb enough to get close. With his insane power, this isn't a fight. It's a cleanup crew. They drop like flies. By the end, 60 scorpions are dead in the dirt. Thanks to the grind, his level dings up to 8. He accepts it with zero emotion. Hitting level 8 was almost too easy. Farming the paralyzing herbs was a pain. Sure, but the payout, unexpectedly massive. Rewind to 2 days ago, he met someone. His monocle HUD flagged that this person was waiting for him. That interaction triggered a hidden quest from the alchemist Emor. The mission was titled, Emor's Will. The objective: travel to the lamenting desert, harvest 100 paralysis herbs, and bring them back. Time limit, 1 single day. These plants, soaked in thunder energy, only spawn in this specific wasteland. Lin Yuan calculates the metagame. Very soon, a special dungeon is opening in the main city, crawling with thunder attribute monsters. Clearing it is going to require insane thunder resistance. That means the resistance potion is about to become the hottest item on the market, selling for tens of thousands of gold pieces. He remembers a player from his past life who made a fortune off this exact hustle. But wait, there's more. Finishing this herb quest unlocks the actual recipe for that potion. He looks at Emor, knowing this is the first day the NPC has spawned in Black Sand City. Once the quest is turned in, the alchemist goes into permanent seclusion. This is literally a one-shot opportunity for a player to snag the recipe before it's gone forever. No brainer, he accepts. Back in the present, he continues the slaughter, dropping every monster in his path. He knows the lamenting thunder. Scorpion is a level 6 beast guarding the herbs, but with his current stats, they're basically harmless critters. He approaches a plant, using this chance to grind his gathering proficiency. He just learned the skill, so it's only level 2, but it boosts harvest speed and offers a measly 5% drop rate for rare herbs. Talk about a grind. Costs 1 spirit point, 3-second cooldown. Grind, rinse, repeat, until the vibe shifts. The ground starts shaking, violent tremors. Boom, something massive bursts out of the sand, aiming right for him. He dodges by a hair. Eyes lock on target as the system starts screaming danger in red text. It's a mutated freak, the Crystal Thunder Demon Scorpion. Level 10. 2,800 HP, 400 attack, 55 defense. He just smirks. A boss spawn out of nowhere. Now things are getting spicy. The level gap's gonna be rough, but he's ready to throw down. Clang. His blade hits that shell and… nothing. Barely scratched the paint. He gets greedy, staying in close range. Big mistake. The beast charges up a lightning blast, frying him. Blade stuck. He's tugging at it when he sees the tail coming. That stinger is locked on. He bails, leaps back just as the tail slams down. Close call. This scorpion hits harder than the wiki said. He braces himself. Here comes the rush. No time for games. Hellgate activate. The portal rips open, and his zombie army pours out. Kobold boss takes point swinging immediately, but our MC, he looks salty. That hit didn't proc the double crit. Unlucky. Suddenly the scorpion unleashes devastating pincers. The ground explodes, launching his zombie squad into the stratosphere. He doesn't blink. While they're flying, he's firing. Enhanced flame fireballs rain down, tagging the beast everywhere. He's weaving in combos like a pro. His skill mastery just leveled up. So every hit packs a punch now. He barks an order, tie it down. His minions throw ropes, lassoing the legs and body to lock it in place. But it's not over. The kobold boss goes airborne smash, a double critical hammer strike. The damage numbers are insane. Even the scorpion shrieks in agony. That's the opening. Lin Yuan leaps, vanishing from the monster's sight. Mid-air, he charges his gauntlet. And the system dings. Title effect. Assassin Hunter active. That's a 10% attack boost, 10% double damage chance, and 10% magic buff. He's not here to chat. He's here to obliterate. He lands right on its back. Boom. The impact creates a shockwave, tearing the beast apart as it screeches. Silence. System notification. Target eliminated. Good game. He instantly casts Resurrection, turning the boss into his newest zombie minion, keeping all those broken stats. But the party isn't over. A swarm of scorpions is closing in. He looks up. It's not just a few. It's a massive horde rushing him. Scared, please. He grins. It's farming time. He triggers his new boss minion's ultimate. Daddy needs that XP. Lightning arcs everywhere, dealing massive damage to the mob. He dives in, sword flashing, slicing through the stragglers. With his title equipped, every swing is a guaranteed crit. It's a total bloodbath. System alert, level up. The grind paid off. Lin Yuan is finally a level 10 soul blinder. Hellgate capacity. 100 zombies. Let's check the stat sheet. Strength 32. Constitution 28. Agility 47. Spirit 53. Jumping 2 levels at once. Absolute euphoria. And the loot, Chef's Kiss. Lightning Spear, Guardian Greaves, Paralysis Ring, and a Ghost Bracelet. All silver tier gear. He runs the numbers selling this haul. Would set his parents up for life. Suddenly, another ping area cleared. The reward. A gold tier skill book dropped specifically for his class. His hand glows, summoning the tome. He flips it open. It's Curse of Darkness. Restriction, Soul Blinder class only. Jackpot. The sheer insanity of his luck finally sinks in. Boom, the book registers, instantly downloading into his memory. A massive beam of light engulfs him, flashing a congrats for snagging a top-tier Soul Reaper exclusive. Curse of Darkness. The stats are brutal. It shreds damage equal to 20% of the target's health. But here's the twist. Use it on the undead, and it actually heals them for 20%. The cost, 100 mana. The cooldown, just 10 seconds. He blindly triggers the skill, not bothering to read the manual, but a quick glance at the stats tells him everything. His giant scorpion's HP bar is hovering at a pathetic 60%. The perfect crash test dummy. No hesitation, he drops Curse of Darkness right on his own beast, and boom, the health bar spikes to 80% instantly. It's a literal cheat code. The protagonist smirks. Tutorial mode is officially over. Time to head to the main hub and link up with his first follower, but suddenly his spidey senses start tingling. And yeah, he knows exactly what the glitch is. It's an in-real-life notification from his stepmom. His dad tried to play hero with some heavy furniture, knocked a bunch of stuff over, and threw his back out. Lin Yuan logs off immediately to save the day. He tells the old man to chill out, while his stepmom goes full nurse mode, scolding him for acting like he's still 20. She drops the truth bomb. He should have just hired a pro to fix the AC unit. Dad plays the defense card, claiming he was just trying to save a few bucks, referencing that one time he fixed the washing machine with a hack job. Then he waves Lin Yuan off, swearing he'll walk it off by morning, but drops one crucial reminder. Don't forget to pick up little Zhao Tong tomorrow. The protagonist exits, his mind racing with plans. The next morning, his parents are sawing logs until a massive crash jolts them awake. Totally disoriented, they rush to the living room, only to find a construction crew giving their house a total makeover. A worker steps up, explaining that Lin Yuan went on a shopping spree and bought, well, everything. They installed the upgrades at lightning speed and just need a signature. The parents are standing there, jaw dropped. While they try to reboot their brains, Lin Yuan is already at the gym, shredding so hard he's drawing a crowd. His physique is peak level. He's destroying the treadmill without breaking a sweat when a sales rep slides in cautiously. She asks if he wants to upgrade to the VIP package, warning him it requires a lump sum payment for the whole year. He doesn't even blink. Done, he says, handing over his card like it's nothing. Mentally, he's ticking off boxes, liquidated his old gear, renovated the crib, secured gym memberships for the squad. He thinks about his parents and Xiao Tang. They need to start grinding stats, as soon as possible, to survive the Immortal World update. If they want to adapt when the game merges with reality, the training starts now. The sales girl is blushing hard. She's been watching him perform superhuman feats without gasping for air, but then she spots the details on the plastic. That's a Supreme VIP card only issued to whales with over 5 million in the bank. Cut to Lin Yuan on the phone, casually confirming the wire transfer for his tournament prize money. He tells his folks to stay put and rest. He's taking care of the sister retrieval mission personally. The sales girl is practically swooning now. Rich, ripped, and a responsible family man, he's a unicorn. Meanwhile, at Shishui High, the bell rings and students flood out, but one girl is standing solo by the gate. It's the protagonist's sister. Two girls walk past spilling tea about how it's her birthday, and her big bro bought her a massive strawberry cake. One of them sighs, wishing she could order a protective big brother off Amazon or something. The sister hears this and rolls her eyes internally. She's not exactly feeling the sibling hype. Her core memory of him is just a dude glued to his gaming setup 24/7. She decides she'd rather fly solo. But suddenly a shadow falls over her, and it's not just one guy. It's a pack of creeps. The ringleader steps up, flashing a slimy grin, and invites her to hang out. He drops a cocky line about how he's never heard the word no in his life. She stares him dead in the eye. "What do you think you're doing?" she snaps. The bystander girls freeze, sensing the bad vibes. One of the thugs invades Xiao Tang's personal space, brushing against her arm with a disgusting smirk. He makes a gross comment about her soft skin. Big mistake. She delivers a crisp slap across his face and tells him to back off. She tries to walk away, threatening to call the cops if they persist. That snaps the guy's ego in half. He cowers out and sucker punches her from behind, sending her crashing to the pavement. The other girls are paralyzed with fear. Seeing the class rep on the ground, the thug steps forward, screaming that she should be grateful he even looked at her. He raises his hand to strike again, telling her to stop acting like a princess. She flinches, waiting for the impact, but a hand catches the attacker's arm mid-air. She opens her eyes, and there he is. Lin Yuan. "Who gave you permission to touch my sister?" His voice is ice cold. The shock leaves her breathless. The thug, realizing he's been stopped, flies into a rage, and his whole crew squares up for a fight. These thugs are screaming about breaking his teeth and shattering bones, but the MC, he isn't here to give a speech. With zero patience, he starts handing out fade, striking with absolutely brutal precision. He drops one, pivots to the next, total destruction. One goon tries to crawl back up, but gets introduced to the sole of his sneaker face, practically planted into the asphalt. Once the trash is taken out, he turns to his sister cool as ice and simply says, "Let's bounce." While they walk, she grills him on why he's even there. In her head, this dude belongs in a gaming chair, grinding ranked matches 24/7. She doesn't get the sudden pickup service. He keeps it low-key, explaining that dad threw out his back, and mom had to stay home to handle it. She panics, asking if it's serious. He shuts it down immediately, telling her to chill. It's nothing major, just a minor injury. Then dead air. Just heavy, awkward silence. She's racking her brain, trying to remember the last time they actually had a real conversation. The weird vibes are suffocating, especially when she finally notices her brother isn't some scrawny kid anymore. He's tall and built different. Meanwhile, her squad is still buzzing in her memory, talking about how her brother is absolute green flag material for picking her up. Another friend was like, "Since when is he a model?" demanding to know why she gate-kept him. Xiao Tang is just standing there like, "Wait, you guys think he's hot?" She side-eyes him, totally confused. She doesn't see the appeal, even though the girls swear he mogs every other guy at their school. The MC walks up to greet her crew, and they basically melt on the spot. Everyone, except his sister, who is just baffled. She's trying to process the stats. Was he always this tall? Did she just not pay attention? And when did he start hitting the gym? At a glance, the guy is shredded. Her memories only show him hunched over a smartphone or glued to a console. Now she's spiraling, trying to figure out how he leveled up so hard and so fast after everything that went down. The friends finally wave goodbye. She turns around and finds her brother already crouching down in front of her. A silent offer for a piggyback ride. Her face turns beet red. "No way," she stammers. "I'm fine. I can walk." Internally, she's screaming. What is he doing? He would never pull something this cringe in front of people. But the MC isn't asking for permission. He scoops her up firmly, and before she can even launch a protest, he's already moving. He drops the logic on her, casually noting that her friends are gone, and she can barely put weight on that foot. "No point in forcing it," he mutters. Then he asks, sounding totally bored, "Did you twist it when those guys shoved you earlier?" She freezes on his back, shock hitting her like a truck. How did he even see that? The walk home just got a lot more intense. Mom and Dad are frozen, totally shook, watching their son carry his little sister. It's a bizarre sight, sure, but they can't help but smile at the wholesomeness. They tell him they're glad he's back, and boom, he heads straight to the kitchen to speedrun the dishwashing. Mom leans in, whispering to the daughter to really look at Lin. Yuan dude is moving like a completely different character. Dad's over by the stove just nodding along. He's cooking, scrubbing, even dropped cash on brand new appliances. The sister, she's standing there in stunned silence. Then Mom starts hyping it up, claiming their sibling relationship is finally leveling up. Sipping her tea, the girl wonders if he's actually undergone a character arc. But right then, Lin Yuan kills the vibe. He announces he's done and retreats to his lair. The door clicks shut. Instant disappointment washes over the room. Xiao knew better than to get her hopes up. Her brother is still the same hardcore otaku addict he's always been. But hold up, he suddenly pops back out. He marches right up to her, clutching a medicine bottle. He tells her to apply it post-shower, promising it's high-tier stuff for healing injuries. Then he spins around with a warning, "I'm gaming. Do not disturb unless it's a code-red emergency." She grips the bottle, mumbling that she knows the rules, but a genuine smile breaks through. Mom, of course, doesn't miss a beat. She insists things are looking up between them and presses for the tea on what went down at school. The daughter pleads the fifth nothing and bolts for the shower. Meanwhile, inside his room, our MC caught every word. Leaning back in his chair, he figures the family drama is patched for now. His eyes lock onto the VR headset. It's go time. He gears up. In a flash, he spawns in the main city, wearing a grin that spells trouble. With a chilling calm, he drops a one-liner, "Time to hunt some rats." He's touched down in the wind sands zone. At the city gates, some poor guy is getting absolutely curb-stomped. He screams, "It's a misunderstanding," but the guard isn't hearing it. The guard keeps crushing him, ordering him to shut his mouth. Right then, our protagonist pulls up. The guard whips around, sensing a disturbance in the force. But there's nobody there. Lin Yuan is fully ghosted. He knows these NPC guards aren't a joke. Their aggro detection for criminals is insane, and he's walking around with major sin points. He needs to time this stealth mission perfectly. It's going to take about 3 days. And as he runs the numbers, he starts thinking that maybe it's the perfect chance to track down an old friend who's been wandering the globe. Meanwhile, inside the church, the priest raises his hand, and the blessing drops. From this second on, the soul is scrubbing up cleaner than fresh powder. Right on cue, Lin Yuan kicks down the door, repping the charity infirmary. Lorenz hits him with a confused scowl, so Yuan spells it out he heard a VIP patient just checked in. Critical condition means it's time for a personal house call. They head straight for the secluded room. There's Doc Wayne laid out flat. Our MC clocks his identity instantly. This guy wasn't just a nobody. Back in the day, he was a top-tier heavy hitter in the West Desert Kingdom's elite cavalry, the Lion Scorpion Knights. That name unlocks a core memory from his past life, specifically right around level 15. This NPC is the key to snagging a sweet gold-tier weapon. That's the only reason he's playing doctor today, swearing he can fix this mess. He claims he can heal the internal rot, eating the guy alive. Doc Wayne squints at him and spots the obvious: this kid is barely level 10. The old man struggles to sit up, wheezing about how a rookie mage thinks he can pull off a miracle. Even basic street guards have better stats. But the trash talk cuts off as he hacks up blood collapsing back onto the pillows. Main character mode engaged. He warns the guy the poison is already liquefying his guts. Refuse the treatment. Cool. Enjoy your funeral next month. Doc Wayne still got an attitude, barking that the cure requires 1,000 grams of fat, specifically from the rotten gill fish. If the kid has a death wish, he can go farm it in the clay mud desert. Ding system prompt flashes. Doc Wayne's hidden quest is officially live. The objective is locked in. Grind 1,000 grams of rotten gill fish fat to purge the toxicity from Doc Wayne's system. Our boy doesn't hesitate, auto-accept. Smash cut to the grinding zone. Welcome to the mud pit, where level 15 rotten gill fish are absolutely wrecking a squad of noobs. A swordsman is screaming orders to push up. He's yelling at everyone to guard their flanks because those jaws are basically serrated knives. Too little, too late. A monster hawks a massive mud ball. Loogie blasting players with kinetic force like a truck hit them. They hit the sludge, and the fish swarm in, activating their frenzy skills for an all-you-can-eat buffet. The blonde swordsman starts spiraling as a massive beast towers over him. He's staring death in the face and realizing he's cooked. Boom, main character entry. Juan grabs him by the collar, yeets him to safety, and tells him to quit blocking the view. He charges up his mana and blasts the green Mojara point blank, triggering a catastrophic explosion, right in its ugly mug. He sticks the landing, still gripping the swordsman who is staring at him like he just saw a ghost. Brain buffering. Complete. The swordsman can't even process if they're actually safe yet. He whips his head around too slow. The MC is already gone, diving headfirst into the fray without wasting breath. He's dual-wielding fire magic, carpet-bombing the entire swamp. The place is crawling with rotten moharas, perfect for speedrunning this quest. Technically, Doc needs fat, not fried fish, but whatever. Let's keep the recap rolling. The mobs aren't scared yet. They erupt from the mud, lunging at Lin Yuan. Blondie screams a warning, thinking the mage is done for. But Yuan weaves through the attacks, like they're moving in slow motion, taunting them. Is that all you got? He resets his stance, summons a battle axe, and drops a cold line. Trash grouped up is just a pile of trash. Mid-sentence, he starts slicing and dicing every fish within reach. In the background, the party watches, eyes wide open. They're shook. 8 of them barely survived, and this solo player is casually exterminating the entire map. But the swordsman is still sweating. He knows the real nightmare is the mob's AoE combo. Their strength is in the hive mind. And right on cue, they start channeling a synchronized attack. The MC senses the vibe shift immediately. Thick smoke starts leaking from the monsters. Instead of panicking, he looks amused. He IDs the skill Echo of the Cursed Fang. It's an AoE nuke that hits anyone in range. It unleashes a toxic fog designed to trigger confusion and auditory hallucinations. Clever mechanics. But he's not falling for rookie traps. He pops Gate of Hell and summons his giant zombie wolf. Command issued Hungry Wolf's Howl. The boss monster obeys instantly. The roar ripples through the swamp, stunning every target with a massive debuff. It's go time. Proto equips the Mask of Awakening, a one-shot defensive item specifically metagamed to counter the poison fog. Buffed and immune, he dashes forward, ordering every single monster to kindly drop dead. Every strike lands like a sledgehammer, crit after crit. One mudfish drops, then another until he's standing on a literal hill of glitching corpses. One straggler tries to bail. Big mistake. Our main man grips his axe, locking onto the target. He hurls that thing with max force. It tears through the air, connecting with a nuke-level impact that basically ends the chat right there. The bystanders are shook brains, barely processing the carnage they just witnessed. Still, they snap out of it. Stay frosty, someone yells. We've got another wave of uglies incoming. Lin Yuan just smirks. Cute. He signals his Thunder Scorpion. It's showtime. The beast procs its skill, unleashing a jagged storm of electric crystals. The swamp turns into a minefield, explosions everywhere. But these mud dwellers, they're way tankier than they look. Panic mode sets in for one of the noobs. Our DPS is trash, he thinks. The level gap is too massive. He's convinced they're looking at a total party wipe. Then out of nowhere, Lin Yuan dashes forward, planting himself front and center. Yo, who said? We actually have to kill them ourselves. He flips his hood up, cool as ice. The squad is like, wait, what? They notice the scorpion isn't firing at random. It's sniping the bellies of the female mobs. Things are getting weird. The male fish start twitching, moving all glitchy. A second later, pure horror hits the onlookers. It's a feeding frenzy, they're eating their own. Our MC, yeah, he knew exactly how this mechanic works. When those rotten females pop, they drop a massive amount of slime. That scent drives the males into a total berserker rage. They think they're protecting the eggs, so they attack anything that moves. Lin Yuan is literally cheesing the AI, forcing a massive fratricide. But heads up, a stray mob lunges straight for him. This isn't trash fodder, it's a giant elite. The group starts hyperventilating again. Nobody knew the females could get that swole. Lin Yuan doesn't even blink. He sees an opening. Get him, he commands. His ghost wolves rush in like shadowy missiles. They're shredding its HP bar, but this thing is a sponge, it refuses to go down. Even the MC looks shocked. 6 wolves focus firing, and they still can't land the kill shot. Whatever. Blade out. He grins. The mob is rooted, and that makes this an easy clap. He dives in, executing the elite rotten fish. Slash to the gut, and boom, he starts farming these weird orbs from inside it. The thing was loaded with them. The bystanders are totally lost. What's the strat here? He doesn't explain. Just orders a wolf to grab the severed head and haul it away. The giant wolf sprints to the high ground, drops the trophy on a rock, and lets out a massive howl, ringing the dinner bell. A dark, ominous fog starts rolling across the map. It's pulling every fish in the zone. The players realize, oh right, the eggs are like a magnet for the males. Lin Yuan just crafted a pheromone nuke to herd the entire horde into one spot. Genius. Time for the finale. He gathers energy, not enough. Screw it. He casts Gate of Hell. He needs an army. His zombies flood out, tearing into the weakened fish with zero mercy. The onlookers are starting to piece it together. Is this about that blue poison sac? The one from the male fish. Our MC nods. Bingo, you figured it out. He breaks it down, that blue sac growing inside. It's basically nature's pepper spray on steroids. The toxic gas triggers a massive danger signal. The school can't handle the stench, they're forced to fall back. The whole swamp is drenched in the blue gunk. And plot twist, they aren't immune to their own toxicity. Once that poison hits, they're sitting ducks. The swordsman is hyping up the strategy big time. Lin Yuan is practically bouncing. Loot time. The archer is still staring, brain broken. He just watched one dude solo the entire map. The blonde kid is ready to pledge allegiance to his new carry right now. Meanwhile, our guy is slicing up the leftovers. Time to wrap this up and head back to base. He touches his mask, realizing it was the MVP. Too bad it cost 5 gold coins and burns out after one use. Expensive. But then the drop notification hits. A vial appears 1,000 grams of rotten gall oil. That's the god-tier ingredient for high-level healing potions. Jackpot. He secures the mission objective, but the loot drop doesn't stop there. A crimson sphere materializes in his palm. It's the Wave Agitator's nose, a bizarre spherical nasal guard that looks rubbery. Crafted from the tanned hide of rotten fish gills, its effect is pungent. It radiates pheromones so foul they strike terror into small and medium aquatic creatures. He stares at it, flashbacking to his past life when he couldn't figure out why this bounty was so high. Honestly, it feels like the game designers were trolling because let's be real, it's straight up a clown nose. Suddenly, the swordsman leans in, whispering like he's seen a treasure. He thinks this thing is legendary. Eyes sparkling with hype, he confesses he can't hold back. Lin Yuan asks, "You seriously dig this clown prop?" The guy nods aggressively, ready to drop all his cash for it. His teammates facepalm and apologize. Their leader always has zero chill. Our MC, however, just casually tosses the item into the guy's hand. "It's yours," he says, turning to leave. The swordsman panics, begging him to wait so he can pay. But the protagonist unfurls his majestic wings, coolly replying, "Relax, it's on the house." The blonde kid bursts into tears, convinced his master is a literal angel. Meanwhile, the rest of the squad can't fathom why anyone would pay for a goofy red nose. Cut to the next scene. Lin Yuan is back at the church, activating the item on Doc. Instantly, Doc is fully restored, admitting he never expected a healing item. Boom. The system announces the gold tier mission is officially crushed. The reward, a gold tier weapon, the green spirit sword. A smirk tugs at his lips. He's finally reclaimed the first gold weapon from his previous life. This blade buffs physical and magic damage by 150 points, and spirit by 100. Plus, it packs the green spirit curse seal, a skill dealing damage equivalent, to 150% of his spirit stat. 0 cooldown, only 10 mana cost. The protagonist thinks the base stats are solid, but the skill is the real MVP because of its hidden passive. Every strike stacks green spiritual energy. 3 hits, that triggers an explosion dealing bonus damage, equal to spirit times 250%. He remembers this blade was the key to conquering the Western Desert and ascending to the #1 mage spot. He's busy fanboying over his new gear until another notification interrupts the vibe check. Reputation rewards incoming. 1,000 points in the main city and 500 with the Scorpion Tail Knights. He muses that, while his standing is back to neutral, like his past life, this clout is enough to let him roam the city zones without heat. But wait, there's a twist. Another ping, due to his excellent performance, he unlocks a special affinity bonus with the NPC Doc. Affinity spikes by 10 points. Lin Yuan studies him. The guy's vibe has definitely shifted, compared to before. Doc thanks him, admitting he would have checked out permanently without that assist. Then he drops a bombshell. He owes Lin Yuan a warning. Our MC wonders if those 10 affinity points just unlocked a hidden story route. Doc doesn't sugarcoat it. He drops a clear red flag. If you ever cross paths with a man named Quincy, stay away from him. Ooh, chat, the plot thickens. The protagonist doesn't hesitate casually, revealing that Quincy is actually his master, and he pushes for details. Why the warning? The old man stares at him, dead, silent, totally stunned. He asks if Lin Yuan is serious, then mentions he already sensed the guy was masking his true class. Doc stands up, scanning him with laser focus, and asks point blank, "You're a soul reaper, aren't you?" Lin Yuan freezes. He asks if Doc knew his identity. Internally, he's glitching out. He cloaked his stats perfectly. Even Quincy shouldn't have a clue. Then Wayne spills his backstory. He used to be a member of the Black Scorpion Knights, answering directly to the king. Their job, executing Black Ops missions, specifically hunting down Soul Reapers. To do that, he mastered a unique skill called Perception of Darkness. He explains it's exclusive to the Black Scorpion Knights. The second a Soul Reaper shows up, his radar goes off automatically. The closer they get, the stronger the signal. The protagonist frowns, asking if Doc knew his identity from the jump. A chilling realization starts to creep in. There is a specific counterskill designed to shut down Necromancers and Reapers cold. Wayne shakes his head. But that's not how it went down. At the start, the poison had my senses totally fried. It wasn't until I got patched up that I could actually see the truth. That's when the unique energy signature hit me, the aura of the Dark Lord clinging to you. Lin Yuan blinks, totally thrown off. He demands to know what this Dark Lord business is about. Doug steps in. Strap in, kid. We're talking ancient history here. The scene dissolves, flashing back to a forgotten era. Wayne's voice turns grim. It all started way back. Standard lore tells you there are 5 big-shot deities. The God of Light, the Moon Shadow, King Goddess of Nature, Lord of Tides, and the Spirit King. But the history books left out a massive detail. There was originally a 6th, the Dark Lord. Known as the immortal entity, he wasn't just another god. He was the apex predator among the 6. With that kind of OP strength, He did whatever the hell he wanted. He took his most ride-or-die followers and gifted them insane dark energy, letting them re-roll their classes into Soul Reapers to execute his divine will. Under the Dark Lord's bloody rule, these Reapers became absolute nightmares. They didn't just spread plagues or butcher thousands, they snatched the souls of the fallen, twisting them into undead puppets and unleashing catastrophes on a global scale. The realms finally snapped and united against him. Every temple built to worship him was smashed to rubble. Every scroll or book mentioning his name was torched to ash. As for the Soul Reapers, kill on sight, instant execution. That's how the class ended up on the ultimate ban list. Wayne's expression darkens. Years ago, I took a hit from a Reaper during a skirmish, poisoned instantly. For 10 agonizing years, I lived in pure torture. I'd already made peace with the fact that I was a dead man walking. Lin Yuan's mind races. In his past life, he was just a sorcerer. He never guessed the lore went this deep. No wonder the Soul Reaper class is forbidden, he thinks. Good thing I've been keeping a low profile. But he's sweating about anyone who can sniff out the Dark Lord's aura, specifically guys like the Black Scorpion Knights. He turns to Doug, cutting the small talk. Is there any way to cloak this dark energy from their radar? Wayne gives it to him straight. Only if Quincy actually wanted to help you. But that means exposing who you really are. And the second Quincy finds out, he'll flatline you. Zero hesitation. A Reaper murdered his wife, so trust me, stay the hell away from him. The MC stays silent, absorbing the warning. Later, he's back at the gravel desert. 10 minutes prior, Wayne was screaming at him, calling him insane for chasing Quincy, a guy who wants to grind all Reapers into dust. Lin Yuan shot back, I don't have a choice. As long as I have this aura, I'm a walking target everywhere I go. I need to fix this as soon as possible. Suddenly, projectiles scream through the air towards him. His reflexes kick in, he blurs out of the way, dodging and resetting his stance. Through the dust, shadows emerge. It's the Phelan Guild with Fei Yu leading the pack. Fei Yu spits, admitting he took the L last time. But today's a different story. I brought 30 of the boys to back me up. He cracks a twisted grin. I want to hear you scream when we start tearing you apart. Above them, a robotic mosquito drone hovers its camera lens, beaming the action to the whole server. The vice leader is laughing his head off, announcing he's putting this beatdown on the big screen. A crowd starts gathering, eyes glued to the feed. Is the Bloodstained Guild seriously live-streaming themselves, stomping a rookie? People are shook. 30 versus 1. That's hardly a fair fight. Hey, that guy looks familiar, someone mutters. And kinda hot. Shame he's about to get wrecked. Lin Yuan doesn't flinch. Please. You guys aren't even a warm-up. The enemy leader snaps, yelling, attack. The mob rushes him. Mages charge their spells, archers knock their arrows, aiming for the kill. Warriors form a wall of steel at the front. Then a system alert pings, malicious attack detected. Counterattack window open 15 minutes. As long as he cleared the board within that specific boundary, his sin points wouldn't spike. He tightened his grip on the blade, dropping a cold declaration. With zero hesitation, he claimed 15 minutes was generous. He could squad wipe this crew 3 times over in that window. Cue the nightmare fuel, he instantly flooded the battlefield with his entire undead legion. His giant wolf snatched an incoming spell right out of the air while the scorpion unleashed a devastating strike, smashing directly into one of the minions. The enemy leader screamed for a shield wall, desperate to cover their DPS mages. The guild scrambled to react. They threw up a heavy defensive formation. Behind the tank line, mages started channeling, spamming buffs to juice up the team's stats. Meanwhile, one caster went rogue, unleashing high-voltage lightning bolts that tore across the map. The archers joined the party, raining enchanted arrows on every zombie stepping into their aggro range. Right then, viewership started tanking. The chat was calling his summons mid and roasting the protagonist as just another arrogant noob. The guild leader, riding high on ego, bragged that he wasn't scared of some brainless zombies. His sidekick took it further, guaranteeing Lin Yuan would be deleted from the server today. Our MC just hit them with a chilling silent smile. A look so creepy it sent shivers down Fei Long's spine. Suddenly, a viewer in the chat screamed, "What the hell is happening?" One of the mages had triggered a trap card. The ground beneath them swirled open into a massive vortex, a sandpit sucking them straight down. Perfectly timed, the zombie wolf boss erupted from the ground and with terrifying ease. It wrecked multiple players in seconds. The skirmish instantly spiraled into total chaotic warfare. Neither leader could process the massacre unfolding. The viewers who rage quit came flooding back. They never expected that a so-called rookie had moves this cracked. Mages panicked, screaming about poison debuffs and begging for a cleanse. But it was game over. A massive explosion detonated, right under their feet. Only then did it click. This was a calculated strike from the protagonist. Suddenly, a shadow surged up behind him, but Lin Yuan didn't even bother turning around. He whipped his sword back, impaling the assassin straight through the gut. The guy gasped, disbelief written all over his face. "How did you see me?" Lin Yuan just shrugged. "I'm not dumb enough to try stealth mechanics in the middle of a sandbox, genius. The brawl reignites feral and completely off the rails. Screams of agony start filling the air. The opponent is too OP. They're begging, pleading, trying to log out and save their skins. Fei Long, absolutely livid, screams at them, calling them useless trash. In a blind rage, he throws everything he has into one final rush. The MC watches him with surgical precision. No hesitation. He triggers his ultimate, and the air fills with skulls branded with the green soul curse. The blonde guy freezes up, paralyzed by the sheer pressure of the skill, failing to dodge in time. The protagonist lands a hit with pixel-perfect accuracy, and they stand back-to-back, sealing the fate of the duel. A split second later, a colossal explosion swallows Fei Long, whole triggered by Lin Yuan's combo. He sighs, sounding almost bored. Way too easy. The chat goes nuclear. The enemy guild is getting absolutely farmed by the undead. Strategies don't matter anymore. The captain stands there shaking, questioning his own sanity as he watches his team get wiped. The MC stands before him, radiating boss energy. Locking eyes with him feels like staring down a demon straight from the abyss. Lin Yuan tilts his head slightly. That tiny movement is enough to make Fei Long flinch and beg for mercy. The protagonist finishes off a straggler and starts walking him down, step by step, slow, deliberate. Then blink and you miss it, he splits the guy's skull open. No reaction time allowed. Coldly, he glances to the side. He spots the robo-mosquito drone, locks on, and blasts it out of the sky. Too much noise, too many peeping toms, he mutters. Cut to a skyscraper penthouse. Gamers are raging. The protagonist just destroyed their spectator cam. They demand an ID on this guy. A servant drops the intel. That's the one who soloed the giant Deathwolf. The room goes dead silent. They decide he's a priority target. The Mercenary Guild has already issued an S-rank invite. A blonde guy steps up and drops the name explicitly. That man is Lin Yuan. Meanwhile, in Black Sandtown, Quincy is nodding off on a barrel. He's hammered, totally wasted, swimming in booze. Blackout drunk. Looks like he's rooting to the spot until the protagonist rolls up. He greets the old man, but Quincy waves him off, slurring that the mentorship is over. He's got enough cash to drink Coronas until he dies. Lin Yuan isn't leaving. He cancels all other plans and says, "We need to talk. Now." He drops the disguise, revealing his true class, Soul Reaper. Quincy's drink slips, shattering against the floor. Pure rage lights up the old man's eyes. "You a necromancer," he spits out. They square up nose to nose. Quincy grinds his teeth, flaring his aura, and lets out a primal roar. It's been way too long since he crossed paths with a Reaper. He demands to know where this kid gets the audacity to show his face. Zero hesitation. He unloads every skill in his arsenal, but he's hitting nothing but air. Pure shock hits him. He never guessed the main character could move like a glitch in the system. In a split second, a steel blade halts an inch from his forehead. Cool as ice, the MC makes an offer. "We done. Let's talk." The mentor, still stiff, as a board asks what the angle is. The MC flashes back to when Doug Wayne spilled the tea, explaining how he planned to settle his debts. Back in the day, under the Dark Lord's reign of terror, the immortal world was drowning in endless despair, fighting for the light. Quincy, his wife, and his ride-or-die subordinate took on one of the Dark Lord's top generals. It was a total bloodbath. They dropped the Necromancer, but that victory came with a heavy price tag. Trying to patch Quincy up, his wife took a nasty curse from the enemy. Her soul got twisted by the darkness, morphing her into a monster, denied the cycle of rebirth. The only fix, the only way to save her, obliterate her corrupted soul completely. But after that brawl, Quincy's hands are too shaky to even grip a blade. So word hit the streets. Any hero who could save her would be balling with a fortune for life. And if a necromancer did it, they'd get the secret to shattering the Dark Seal, a legendary drop. Quincy looted off another corpse. It was a trap. He wanted to save her, break the curse, and make every remaining necromancer pay, in blood. But out of 158 people who took the quest, 0 came back. Not a single soul. Back in the present, the MC demands the mission specs. Quincy caves. He's got no choice. Suddenly the system glitches in with a pop-up. Quest name: the late wife's soul. Objective: liberate her spirit. Time limit: 10 days. Rank silver. He smashes that accept button and dips. The old man wishes him luck, hoping this is finally the one. But then his face twists into a creepy smirk with a dark warning. That is if you manage to crawl back here in one piece. Later that night, he hits the location. He chugs a night vision potion and pushes into the dungeon, rolling deep with his zombie squad. He realizes exactly where he is. The monument to the fallen. It's the mass grave for every dead NPC. A zombie pops up, but the Scorpion King deletes it instantly. The MC scans the mob, definitely undead type, just like the zombies, which means ghosts are definitely lurking too. He knows. The difficulty spikes as you go deeper. Floor 1, level 1 to 3 trash mobs. Next floor houses level 4 to 6. Floor 3 is swarming with level 7 to 9 ghosts. And at the bottom, floor 4, waits a level 10 ghoul. After grinding forward, a warp portal opens up. His eyes light up. He wants to blitz through all 4 floors and hit the boss room in one go. He dives into the abyss, zero fear, then freezes. Something's moving up ahead. Raspy growls, hollow breathing. And there they are. Dozens of glowing red eyes piercing the shadows locked right on him. He doesn't blink, it's go time. He's staring down a horde of elite ghouls level 10, 2000 HP each. 400, attack 40 defense. These aren't your basic shamblers, wasting 0 time. He commands the charge. The Scorpion King leads the pack, bulldozing through the front line with pure rage, impaling them mercilessly before spinning to wreck the flankers. The MC isn't just watching, though. He matches the pace blade out, deleting every mob foolish enough to step up. The impact is brutal total carnage. One by one, they drop like flies. It's a surgical massacre. Silence falls, but then he spots a twitch on the ground. One ghoul is still gasping. He curb stomps it without a second thought. Bam, system pop-up. Congrats, you hit level 12. Looking at the carnage, he admits that was way too easy. Disappointment hits hard and fast. Too bad his zombie control skill is totally useless against these undead freaks. It doesn't work on this monster type. Then out of nowhere, danger. He senses the ambush, a split second too late. The impact is massive. He barely manages to block with his blade, instantly realizing he's in deep trouble. The force is overwhelming. He gets ragdolled across the entire hall before smashing into the far wall. He scrambles back up, whips his head around and spots it. Chains. Holding something down. The vibe completely shifts. The arena has changed. Inside a coffin, a woman smirks. She says she's been waiting for this. Boom, the coffin detonates. Rising from the debris is the level 18 spiteful ghost. She's packing 6,000 HP, 800 attack, and 200 defense. Lin Yuan knows he's finally hit the 5th floor. No time to strategize, though. The ghost rushes him, giving 0 breathing room, forcing him into full defense mode. Just as the pressure peaks, she triggers her ultimate flower of death. Instantly, thorny vines erupt everywhere, lashing out from every angle. He's forced to dodge at max speed just to stay alive. Mid-dodge, he clocks a detail. Those vines are dripping with corrosive poison. He tightens his grip on the sword. With one clean surgical strike, he slices through every single vine simultaneously. He roars out, making it clear that level of attack is a joke to him. After vaporizing the vines without a trace, he proves his sword isn't just for show. The pressure he unleashes is so intense the boss actually screams. She can't handle the heat, so she immediately panics and casts Succubus Howl. A violent wind blast rips through the area. He frowns as she's summoning backup. He glances to the side. A skull pops out of the dirt. He connects the dots fast. It's the desert NPCs, the ones buried right here. And it's not just the locals from Black Gravel City either. The game logic dragged in the failed players from the Quincy expedition too. What a pain. Absurdly overpowered skeletons keep spawning right in his face. He analyzes the battlefield cold. There's definitely a mob waiting behind every single door. And there's no way the boss is respawning from a random pile of bones. 0 hesitation. He summons his entire zombie army and orders them to plug every spawn point where the skeletons are pouring out. Wolves and scorpions mobilize instantly. Then he drops the next command. Trigger the Bloodlust buff. The Wolf King cracks his weapon, whipping the troops to activate the skill, sending them into a total frenzy. Confidence peaked, he points to his 2 heavy hitters and calls the play. The Kobold Chief and Crystalline Thunder Scorpion need to push, both units charged with full power. The Scorpion takes point, smashing the ground with its ripping pincers ability. The Kobold unleashes Heavy Strike. The floor around the boss starts to crack. She looks up. Right as the ceiling caves in, the whole place collapses. But she walks out of the rubble, untouched, saved by an active skill. Okay, he's actually surprised. But watching her move, he figures out the mechanic. Ghosts are spirit types. They phase through physical objects and are immune to physical attacks. That doesn't scare him, it makes him smirk. He knows they take double damage from magic. He pulls his trump card. Green Soul Curse. The ghost dodges effortlessly, thinking her speed buff will save her. Meanwhile, the revived skeletons are throwing themselves at the zombie blockade. This is getting sketchy. The tombs could collapse any second. He needs to end this fight now. He rips open his inventory. If he wants to lock the boss down, he needs better crowd control. He equips the paralysis ring. The stats are nice, plus 100 HP, 10 magic, 15 agility, and 15 mentality. But the kicker, every attack has a 5% chance to paralyze the target for 3 seconds. He doesn't wait full throttle forward. He clenches his fist and triggers the extra skill, Paralyzing Toxin. He throws the punch, landing a direct hit with the toxin. He keeps the combo going. It's not over yet. She tries to guard, but gets blasted violently against the wall. The protagonist steps up, realizing he rolled high on the damage and got insanely lucky with the proc. He summons his giant wolf to finish it. Seeing the ghost finally slowed, he barks an order to his zombie trigger, the stun skill, lock that target down. He raises his blade, hyper-aware that the stun window is tight, only 5 seconds on the clock. and he unleashes a flurry of strikes, spamming attack after attack, even though the impact damage is barely scratching under 100. The boss rages and screams, making the protagonist sweat, because out of nowhere, she pops her corpse explosion ult. Every monster in the zone starts detonating one by one, triggering a massive chain reaction of destruction. When the dust settles, she realizes the protagonist pulled a pro move. He used his own zombies as meat shields to tank the blast. He's still feeling the sting of the ghost's heavy hits, and notices he's down to just 3 of his tankiest undead. He closes the gap and declares that it's game over. Right then, he charges up. He unleashes his skill, slamming into her body with everything he's got. She's helpless, doing nothing but screaming in defeat. The system flashes red. The boss is in critical condition, with 30 HP left until she is absolutely deleted. And the loot drop. He bags 800 experience points. After the fight, he pauses, wondering if the raid is actually over, until he glances back and sees a hologram of a woman thanking him for being such a brave warrior. The woman smiles, fading into light that drifts into his hand, morphing into the beloved ring. This is the quest item. The wedding ring Quincy gave his wife as the ultimate symbol of their love. Lin Yuan stares at it, unable to believe the payout for soloing such a broken monster is just a piece of jewelry. But right as he complains, a demonic grimoire spawns in front of him. He's confused for a split second before it hits him. Corpse explosion, the signature Necromancer skill. He never guessed a drop like this would be so exclusive. He can't help but wonder if this dropped because that ghost was a loyal servant to the Dark Lord. No time to overthink it, he activates the book to instantly upload the technique to his memory. A beam of intense light hits him. Skill learned, gold rank, corpse explosion, level 1. The effect is simple and savage. It detonates a zombie to deal fire damage to nearby enemies equal to 60% of the undead's health pool. Costs 100 mana with a 10-second cooldown. He loves it. Yeah, it burns through his zombie reserves. But that attack power and AoE range, totally worth it. It's devastating. He heads back to Black Gravel City. He shows the ring to Quincy. The old man freezes, unable to process that this relic is actually right in front of him again. He holds it gently, explaining that a sealed soul has no memories. Only when released do they come flooding back. Then he asks something deep. Did his wife stop feeling pain when she passed? Quincy nods, yes. And while staring at that beautiful ring, the old man breaks down in tears, totally overwhelmed. He never thought a necromancer, the kind of people he hates the most, would be the one to heal his heart. As a thank you, he summons a box and declares he's keeping his promise this time. Inside lies the Dark Crown, a unique helmet with 2 passive effects. First, it completely hides his sin value while equipped. Second, it masks his dark aura. It's a necromancer exclusive, cannot be traded, cannot be destroyed. He holds it in his hands. 0 stat bonuses, but who cares? Hiding his sin value and that sketchy dark aura. That is exactly the meta he needs. This solves his issue with the knights and lets him stop creeping around the main city. The system asks if he wants to equip it. He hits yes without hesitation. A strange power floods his body, and he wonders if he just took another step toward uncovering the truth. Next stop, Sand Breeze City. As soon as he arrives, he runs into countless players, guilds of every size. He recognizes them instantly. From rank 1 to rank 10, the whole server elite is here. He thinks of a certain someone, wondering if she's hiding in the crowd. He's just a rookie here. Getting close to the big guilds won't be easy, so he moves forward, knowing he just needs one opening. Meanwhile, someone's watching him. The protagonist senses the gaze instantly. The blonde guy keeps walking. Suddenly, he realizes Lin Yuan has vanished. Boom, Lin Yuan appears right behind him, sword raised high, demanding to know who he is. The kid replies that he finally found him. He spins around, super hyped to see him again, and trips over his own feet, hitting the dirt. Lin Yuan blinks, totally confused. The injured blonde asks if he seriously doesn't remember him. The protagonist is baffled, asking how this kid knows his name. Immediately, the guy scrambles to his feet and explains he watched him solo the Bloodstained Guild and recognized his playstyle instantly. He spills the tea. He's been grinding hard just to track down the mystery warrior who humbled the guild. Dude didn't just look. He dropped a cool 2 million on custom facial recognition tech just to pinpoint his location. Our main character is shook. 2 mil just for a manhunt. But the rich kid tilts his head, genuinely confused. Is that a lot? Apparently for him it's pocket change. His family biz burns through hundreds of millions just testing systems. Click. Lin Yuan finally places him. This kid is Han Corporation royalty, the heir to a $100 billion empire, ruling the global tech scene. Without knowing the kid's backstory, he silently calculates the odds. Maybe he should just delete him right here. The blonde heir's eyes go full anime sparkle mode as he drops the news tomorrow. There's a legendary S-rank raid going down at the Bloodscale Cave. He is so hyped that he literally trips over his own feet mid-sentence and faceplants into the dirt. Maximum epicness, followed by maximum cringe. Our MC spins around, tossing a cold glance over his shoulder. Don't follow me. He wonders why he's even wasting breath on this clown. Meanwhile, the rich kid, still eating dirt, mumbles something crucial. The Black Tree Guild's third squad is joining the raid. If he performs well, he might actually get a shot. He starts spiraling about the guild roster, whining about having to solo this dungeon like a loser. Suddenly, Lin Yuan cuts in. What time exactly? The blonde drops to his knees like he just got blessed by a god. Screaming 8 in the morning, the protagonist tells him to chill out, and mentions he needs to prep before the raid. That one comment sends the kid into pure fanboy mode. Cut to the Vulture Thieves camp. Boom explosions rock the entire base. The protagonist strides through the smoke with his squad, locking eyes on the boss ahead. He's rocking a brand new army now. Level 12 zombies made from the corpses of the very thieves he just slaughtered. Zero hesitation. He commands the march. Up ahead, the enemy is dug in, flanked by monsters protecting their chief. Lin Yuan signals the charge, and his undead horde clashes in a brutal mosh pit. The enemy monsters hold the line. One beast blasts a massive fireball straight at our boy, but poof, he's gone. Even the vulture gets confused, but he doesn't have time to think. His body gets severed instantly, along with his monster guard. The MC moves like a blur, deleting every bandit in his path one by one. When the last body drops, something feels off. The boss is missing, but the confusion lasts a microsecond. The level 19 Lord of the Vulture Thieves is already striking from the shadows behind him. Does he flinch? Nope. In one smooth motion, he hurls his own zombies at the boss and triggers corpse explosion. Boom. Massive detonations tear up the battlefield as he ruthlessly sacrifices his minions. The boss screams in agony, but the MC is stone cold. In a blink, he vanishes again. Shadow gloves activated, humming with dark energy. The strike comes out of nowhere. A clean, brutal smash that drives the Vulture Lord into the dirt. Game over. A system notification pops up. Boss defeated. Boom. He levels up to 12+1. Time to check the loot. Dark Curse hits level 3, now dealing damage equal to 20% of enemy health, and healing his zombies by the same amount. Corpse Explosion is at level 2, dealing massive damage based on his health times 80% of the undead's HP. He's analyzing the stats when the system prompts him again. Use a skill upgrade scroll. Easy, yes. The efficiency is insane. He already burned a scroll to boost Dark Curse. Now it hits level 3, dragging Corpse Explosion up with it. As for his undead army, he's stacked. He is currently commanding 130 undead units, all level 15 vulture bandits. And the crown jewel, the level 19 zombie vulture lord. This guy comes with perks, specifically poison hands, adding 20 extra points of poison damage. Lin Yuan pauses, processing the new ability. It reminds him of when he revived the giant death wolf and unlocked Wrath of the Dead, boosting ally critical hit rates by 20%. The pattern is clear. Resurrected boss-level monsters don't just come back, they keep their elite skills. New skills unlocked. Boom. Suddenly, the system drops an announcement. The hunting event kicks off officially in exactly 2 hours. Lin Yuan flashes a smirk, ready to roll. But the second he hits the Bloodscale Cave, a blinding flash smacks him right in the face. Visibly annoyed, he turns to his buddy and asks if he decided to cosplay as a solid gold knight statue today. The so-called Golden Knight gets defensive immediately. He claims he dropped 50 gold coins to have a master blacksmith customize this drip. All that just so he wouldn't drag the team down. But the moment he finishes flexing snap, his belt gives up on life, and down go the pants, hitting the floor. Lin Yuan stares in total disbelief before dropping a sarcasm bomb, commenting that it's the first time he's seen armor with a quick release feature. The blonde guy turns beet red, swearing the blacksmith promised him this was the latest cutting-edge model, but he barely gets the words out before the helmet slams shut on its own, sealing his vision. Now he's screaming, stumbling around blind. He takes a wrong step, trips over his own feet, and crashes into a solid wall of a human. Looking up, he meets the gaze of a massive guy asking if he's good. It's Yao Kui, the leader of the Black Tree Guild's third squad. The loud, blonde kid can't figure out why this dude is grinning like that. Something about that smile just gives him the creeps. It feels like a venomous snake sizing up its prey, though he can't tell if it's gut instinct or just paranoia kicking in. Suddenly, the MC grabs his arm and orders him to strip off all that ridiculous gear right now, telling him straight up he looks like a clown. The bald guy keeps grinning, but Lin Yuan locks eyes with him, unblinking with zero trace of fear. That ticks the big guy off. Baldy isn't used to anyone staring him down like that. Just then, a shout cuts through the tension. Someone yells out asking who the heck that is. Han Chen studies the profile pic on the sheet, then yells again, pointing a finger, asking if the weirdly dressed kid is the one from the photo. Instant explosion of laughter. Everyone thinks it's totally pathetic that someone would show up in such exaggerated cosplay. The swordsman chuckles too. He admits it's him, then seamlessly asks if the three of them are the legendary Black Tree Guild veterans. The man unsheaths his blade, points it straight at him, and declares he has zero interest in rookies. He makes it clear they only accepted 2 people, not for the registration fee, but because the captain is overly Merciful. The MC stays silent, absorbing every word. Then Yao Kui steps in asking what he thinks he's doing and reminding him to treat the newcomers with some respect. So the guy ends up sheathing his sword, warning them not to get cocky. Even if the captain is chill, they better value this opportunity. The shiny blonde guy nods eagerly. Right after a mage grabs everyone's attention, the roll call is about to officially start. Lin Yuan scans the crowd, wondering if these players are actually ready for an S-rank hunt. To him, they all look like fresh noobs who just stepped into the main city. Meanwhile, the captain moves toward the dungeon, telling everyone to chill. He claims even the Grim Reaper himself would wet his pants, seeing the Black Tree Guild. With that bold claim hanging in the air, everyone follows without hesitation. Then the man looks back and spots the shiny guy holding a flag. Totally hyped, he starts calling out the MC's name, God Yuan. Or well, only he calls the MC God Yuan, begging him to seize the chance to smash as many shiny slimes as he can find. The MC keeps walking with a smirk, excited by that sweet scent of promised fun. Later, inside the cave, the group hits a fork in the road, a classic crossroads. A warrior asks which path to take. The captain grins and suggests the best move is to split up. Immediate shock follows. Several people question if that isn't too risky, seeing as there are level 16 elite monsters lurking about. A mage demands silence and reveals that the captain already scouted the paths beforehand, covering the whole zone. Someone doubts it, asking if they really patrolled earlier. Yao Kui confirms it. He explains the morning recon covered all 3 trails and breaks down exactly what's in each one. He adds that high danger equals high reward, better loot drops. And with a sketchy smile, he asks for their take. Slowly, it clicks for everyone. They think this is just how a big shot guild operates, commenting that the third team's captain has the highest level and